Welcome back, you guys, and I'm going to go over some NBA records that Kevin Durant has broken over his 10-year NBA career so far. He has 4 scoring titles, 8 All-Star selections, an NBA MVP, and just won his first championship in his first season with the Warriors and picked up the Finals MVP to go along with it. Not all of these are going to be records. I will mix in some stats that Durant and only a couple other players have done, then go back to talking about a record only Durant completed. As always, which NBA players' records should I be looking at next? I have a few players that I'm working on right now, and I've taken some of your suggestions, so let me know which ones I should look at. So let's go through some NBA records Durant has broken. Kevin Durant is the most efficient shooter in NBA Finals history. KD averaged 35 points on 55% shooting, 47% from the three-point line, and 92% at the foul line. And he's the first to average those percentages while averaging over 30 points in an NBA Finals series. Only Magic Johnson and Penny Hardaway had shot 50% from the field, 40% at the three-point line, and 90% at the foul line in an NBA Finals series. Plus, Magic in the 1987 Finals only attempted 2 3-point shots to Durant's 38 3-point shots against the Cavs, so that's why Magic was able to get to 40%. Getting quality shots was never really the issue for Durant on the Thunder. He had multiple seasons where he shot 50% from the field and 40% from 3, but the quality of those shots increase when you play on this Warriors team that has the greatest 3-point shooting backcourt the NBA has ever seen. And he took advantage of that throughout the entire season and in those 5 games against Cleveland. Kevin Durant finished the 2017 NBA playoffs with a 68.3 true shooting percentage, and that is the highest true shooting percentage ever for a player who has made 100 shots in a playoff run. This is from the site basketballreference.com. You can see Durant is number 1 with Kevin McHale and LeBron coming in at number 2 and 3. You have guys like Chauncey Billups, Steph Curry, Ginobili, and LeBron again. Again, when you combine the Warriors' floor spacing that Curry and Thompson give, plus the ball movement, with Durant's all-time great scoring skills, it's going to be close to impossible for a defense to lock KD down. For record number 3, let's go back to 2010 when he was with OKC. Let's travel back to Oklahoma City, where Durant was the youngest player in NBA history to win an NBA scoring title, and he did it at 21 years old. That was back in the 2010 season, where he averaged 30.1 points per game and finished just ahead of LeBron, Carmelo, Kobe, and D. Wade. OKC was the 8th seed that year. They won 50 games and took the Lakers, the eventual champions, to 6 games. That was a pretty close series. Durant broke the record from Max Zaslavsky, who led the league in scoring back in the 1947 season at 22 years old. So it's been a while. 63 years it took for someone new to become the youngest to win a scoring title. Let's go into record number 4. Another record Kevin Durant broke when he was on the Oklahoma City Thunder. He is the youngest player in NBA history to join the 50-40-90 club. That is 50% from the field, 40% at the three-point line, and 90% at the foul line. Only 9 other players have done this, but there have only been 3 guys that do it while averaging 20 points per game, and that is Dirk Nowitzki, Larry Bird, and Kevin Durant, who did it at 24 years old in the 2013 season. This next record is something he and only Michael Jordan have done in the NBA Finals. Kevin Durant joins Michael Jordan in the 1993 NBA Finals as the only Finals MVPs to average 35 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists. From Game 1, where he dropped 38 points, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists, to the closeout Game 5, dropping 39 points on 14 of 20 shooting, he was consistently dominant as an overall player. The Cavs, who weren't that good defensively the whole year, they had no answer for KD. Cleveland didn't have that many wing defenders to challenge Durant, so he was able to get quality shots whenever he wanted. Let's go into a record only he and Shaq have done. This is kind of a random one. Another record from the NBA Finals that he and only another player have done. KD is the first player since Shaq in the 2004 NBA Finals to dunk 6 times in a Finals game. That was Game 1 of the Finals when Durant had 38 points, grabbed 9 boards, and dished out 8 assists. The Cavs had a couple plays where they had to defend the Warriors in transition and decided to guard Steph Curry at the 3-point line and let Durant just get easy dunks on fast breaks, and there were some miscommunications on some plays too. KD also had 8 assists without a turnover and made 3 3-pointers in that Game 1. Let's go into another record that Kevin Durant tied Shaq for. Kevin Durant is the first player with 5 straight 30-point games in the NBA Finals since Shaq did it in the 2000 NBA Finals. Like I said in the beginning, when you combine the Warriors' floor spacing and ball movement with Durant's all-time great scoring skills, it's going to be close to impossible for a defense to lock KD down. He's going to get his buckets. The game just came so easy for Durant in the playoffs. He was scoring from the three-point line, making tough jumpers and getting to the rim. And when KD got to the free throw line, he knocked down 38 out of 41 of them. Going into the next record, let's travel back to Oklahoma City. Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook are the only teammates in NBA history with multiple games both scoring 40 points, and they have done it 4 times together. One of the most explosive duos we've ever seen. It was so much fun watching them together on the Thunder. They could get easy buckets in transition, not to mention they are both great at getting to the rim and making free throws. Multiple 55-win seasons and an NBA Finals appearance. Definitely one of the best duos that I'll ever watch in my lifetime, but it's too bad we'll never see them team up again, unless it's something like the Olympics in 2020 or that 3-on-3 tournament, but I doubt that will happen. That's why you gotta appreciate and enjoy the greatness being displayed before it's too late, and then you gotta relive everything through YouTube highlights. But that's it for the OKC records. Let's go back to this year's playoffs. Kevin Durant joined Tim Duncan, Hakeem Olajuwon, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as the only players to record a game with 30 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 blocks in an NBA Finals game. We've talked about Kevin Durant's all-time great scoring performance in this year's playoffs, but his on- and off-ball defense was another area where he contributed for Golden State. He wasn't able to shut down LeBron completely, but with his height and wingspan, he was able to make it tough for him. KD was blocking shots at the rim. He even played center a bit for the Warriors when Draymond got into some foul trouble. Everything that Durant excels at was put on display in this year's finals, from his offense to his defensive versatility, a very dominant postseason for KD. Here's another almost record from Kevin Durant in this year's NBA Finals. He scored 176 points in the series against Cleveland and had the second highest total ever in a 5-game series. The most came from Allen Iverson, who had 178 points in the 2001 NBA Finals against the Lakers. We've talked in length about Durant's scoring display in this year's finals. It was amazing. Iverson was actually rooting for the Warriors to win because Durant hasn't won a ring yet, and he wanted Durant to feel that championship feeling that he never got to feel. Iverson showed love to LeBron, Kyrie, Tyronn Lue, but he basically boiled it down to he wanted Durant to get that first ring that Patrick Ewing and Charles Barkley never got. Back to that game 1 of the finals, Kevin Durant had a few stats that only he and a number of players have completed. He is the 8th player with at least 35 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists in an NBA Finals game since 1960. The last 4 times someone has gotten those numbers was LeBron. Kobe did it once against the Magic in the 2009 Finals. Shaq did it in the 2002 Finals, and Jordan did it 3 times. Also in that game 1, Durant had the second most points in a game without a turnover in the NBA Finals in the last 30 seasons. He was 3 points shy of Shaq's record. Durant had 38 and Shaq had 41 in the 2000 NBA Finals game 2. Kevin Durant had a streak of 72 consecutive 20-point games, but it ended this past November when he scored 18 points against the Nuggets. He tied Michael Jordan for 4th place in most consecutive 20-point games. Wilt Chamberlain had a 20-point streak for 126 games and another one for 92 straight games, and Oscar Robertson had the 3rd highest streak with 79. So the last one was for 20-point game streaks. This one is for consecutive games with 25 points, and Kevin Durant had 41 straight games scoring 25 points, breaking Michael Jordan's record. He broke it at the end of the 2014 season. Jordan scored 25 points or more in 40 straight games during the 1987 season, but Durant does not have the overall record for the 25-point game streak. He's in 3rd place. First place goes to Wilt Chamberlain, who had 80 games in a row with at least 25 points. He did it in 1962. And in 2nd place, you have Oscar Robertson, who had a 46-game streak with 25 points or more. And finally, the last interesting note from KD for this video, Kevin Durant is just the 3rd player ever to win 4 scoring titles and have an NBA title. He joined Wilt Chamberlain and Michael Jordan. I don't necessarily agree with it, but we live in a how many rings do you have culture, and Kevin Durant did not want to end up like some of these other all-time NBA greats. From First Take to Undisputed to wherever you discuss basketball, when you're ranking players or teams all time, the biggest thing that moves you up or down the list is how many championships do you have. Going back to that Allen Iverson quote I spoke about earlier in the video, AI did not want KD to go out like he did. AI wanted KD to get that feeling of getting your first ring. He might have been able to get one in OKC, and I know a lot of people don't agree with the decision to leave, especially after the conference finals versus Golden State last year, but he wanted to get that ring as quickly as possible, and now he's a part of a team that is going to be the favorite to win the championship for a long time. Durant was competing on both ends of the floor, and in that Game 5 when Cleveland was only a few buckets behind, Durant kept hitting key shots to extend Golden State's lead to keep Cleveland from coming back. And that's it for me. If you made it this far, shout out to you. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and if there's another player's records I should look at, let me know. I'll see you guys in my next video.